Statements of advice have been a critical compliance component for advisors, and I have Christina Kalantzis from Alexis Compliance and Risk Solutions to discuss them with me today. Hi Christina.
Hi Darren.
So statements of advice for SMSF advisors are about to have a bit of a change. What are some of the new elements that advisors are going to have to look at in that area?
Well, there's definitely a big focus on self-managed super fund advice for 2019, and I'd say that's predominantly stepped in because of the comments that came out from the Hayne Royal Commission, which included statements of 9 out of 10 self-managed super fund advice did not comply with the best interest duty. We had comments where ASIC did a review of 137 licensees where they found that to be the case. So I think there will be a change and a shift to compliance this year. When it comes to the statements of advice, we're looking at a focus more on when you're giving advice to clients, they understand their obligations as trustees. Fee disclosure, not just the advice fee disclosure, the ongoing fees associated with running a self-managed super fund, which includes the accounting fees, the auditing fees, the ASIC fees, the management fees as well, and the advice and storage fees.
So of these elements and new areas of focus that you just mentioned, what are some of the more difficult ones that people are going to find to include in the SOA?
The tricky ones is always, it is fee disclosure, and it's always making sure that clients understand what their obligations are as well. So the areas that I think is disclosure of costs, initial costs, ongoing costs, even wind-up costs. You have to give the clients an understanding of what the ongoing commitment is of having a self-managed super fund as well. Time and knowledge, you have to talk about the client's time they have to put into managing their retirement funds, and also their knowledge and their obligations of what it means to be a trustee.
So these new elements will potentially make an SOA a little bit longer even now.
Yep.
Does that make it more difficult for consumers to navigate these documents?
This is a question that everyone always asks about how relevant is a statement of advice when we put the legislation over it as well, and what's required under Regulatory Guide 175, and also what's required on the ongoing things that we find out that ASIC picks up advisors on. So what I would be saying, it's about the format of the statement of advice. So we have to really spend time and effort in terms of the layout of the SOA, look at the title, look at the summary, summarising your advice, talking about the advice component, talking about disclosure, and then the implementation as well. And my discussion at the Self-Managed Super Fund Conference will be all about designing the statement of advice so people are more confident they can present that and communicate that to clients.
Great insights. Thanks, Christina.
Okay, thank you, Darren.